Have you ever stopped to think that maybe you're building your entire reality based on assumptions that were never actually true? That the version of life you're experiencing right now isn't what's possible. It's just what you've been quietly expecting all along? Most people never question this. They move through their days convinced that life is happening to them, that circumstances are fixed, that reality exists out there, independent and unchanging, and all they can do is react to it. But here's the thing nobody talks about. What if the very act of observing your life is what's shaping it? Not in some vague, motivational sense, in a literal, measurable, scientifically documented way. There's this principle in quantum physics that's been quietly disturbing scientists for almost a century. The observer effect, the double-slit experiment, where physicists found that when you observe quantum phenomena, even just with a detector, it changes the results. Just by looking at it. Let that settle for a moment. Observation changes the outcome. Not because someone's interfering with the experiment, simply because something is paying attention. And if that's true, at the smallest level of physical reality, what does that mean for the reality you're living in right now? Most people get this completely wrong. They think the observer effect is just some weird quirk of particles, something that happens in laboratories with fancy equipment, far removed from daily life. They miss the part where this same principle is quietly operating in their own minds every single day. Because your brain, right now, in this moment, is doing something almost identical to what happens in that quantum experiment. It's not passively receiving reality. Your brain never makes contact with the outside world. Instead, it sits in complete darkness inside your skull, interpreting electrical signals from your sense organs and constructing a model of what's out there. That model is useful, but it's not a faithful copy of the physical world. Think about that. Everything you're experiencing right now, the colors, the sounds, the feeling of your body in space, none of it is direct contact with the world. Your brain is building it, constructing it, predicting it. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Neuroscience calls this predictive coding. Your brain is constantly generating predictions about what it expects to encounter, then checking those predictions against incoming signals. When prediction and reality match, the brain barely registers the input at all. Your brain is living slightly ahead of you. It's forecasting the next moment based on everything that's happened before, based on what you believe is possible, based on what you've been conditioned to expect. And when the world confirms that prediction, your brain doesn't even flag it as new information. It just keeps running the same script. This is why people can live the same year 10 times and call it a decade. Not because life stopped offering them new possibilities, because their brain stopped noticing anything that didn't match the prediction it was already running. The myth everyone believes is this, that your beliefs are just thoughts, just mental events that live inside your head and don't touch the physical world around you. That you can think one way and live another. That your inner state and your outer reality are separate systems. But the research shows something way more unsettling. Your beliefs don't just color your mood. They reorganize your biology. They alter neurotransmitter levels, modulate immune function, change pain perception. The placebo effect isn't a trick. It's not people fooling themselves into feeling better. A 2015 review in Nature Reviews Neuroscience found that placebo responses activate the same neural pathways as many actual medications. The brain can mimic drug effects simply through expectation. Your body responds to what you believe is happening, not just to what's chemically or physically present. Belief becomes biology, and if belief can change your pain threshold, your immune response, your physical healing, what else is it changing that you haven't noticed yet? Let me take you somewhere most people never go with this. What if the reason your life keeps reorganizing itself around the same patterns isn't bad luck or coincidence? What if it's because your brain is collapsing possibility into the same narrow outcomes over and over, based on predictions you didn't even know you were making? Your brain is constantly forecasting what will happen next through something called Bayesian inference, updating its models based on new input and prior experience. If reality matches the prediction, all is well. But if not, the brain either corrects the prediction or rewrites the memory. Read that again. Your brain will rewrite memory to protect the prediction, because keeping the model stable is more important to your nervous system than recording what actually happened. This is why two people can experience the same event and walk away with completely different stories. They're not lying. They're not confused. Their brains collapsed different realities out of the same moment, based on what each of them expected to see. You are not a passive witness to your life. You are a participant in how it becomes real. And the terrifying part, the part most people spend their entire existence avoiding, is that this means you've been participating all along. Every belief you've carried for years, every quiet assumption about what's possible for someone like you, every internal narrative about how life works, it's been shaping the version of reality your brain allows you to experience. Not because the universe is punishing you, not because you're cursed or unlucky or broken, because your predictive system is functioning exactly the way it was designed to for, by giving you more of what you've been expecting. Here's where people usually start resisting. They want to believe this is just about positive thinking, that if you just expect good things will happen. That's not what this is. Expectation without alignment is just noise. It's the difference between hoping for something and actually becoming the kind of person whose nervous system predicts it as normal. Most people say they want change. They say they want growth. They say they want a different life. And then they spend every quiet moment of their day running the same internal predictions they've been running for 10 years. Same fears, same doubts, same stories about why things are the way they are. And the brain, faithful as always, keeps collapsing reality to match. What you see, feel, and believe isn't just out there, it's a construction. Your brain's best guess at what reality is, guided as much by memory, expectation, and emotion as by the raw data of your senses. This is not a metaphor. Your experience of life is being actively constructed, moment by moment, by a system that prioritizes coherence over accuracy. It would rather give you a stable, predictable world, even a painful one, than risk the chaos of uncertainty. So it filters, it selects, it confirms, and slowly, without you ever noticing, your reality becomes a reflection of the only story your brain knows how to tell. Now, sit with this for a second, because what I'm about to say might shift something you've been carrying for a long time. The version of reality you're experiencing right now is not the only version available. It's just the one your nervous system has been trained to recognize. There are opportunities around you that your brain is filtering out because they don't match your predictions. There are possibilities in your relationships, your work, your health, your future that exist right now, but you can't see them. Not because they're not there, because your brain wasn't looking for them. And it wasn't looking for them because somewhere deep in your wiring, you decided they weren't meant for you. Maybe that decision was made when you were 7 years old. Maybe it was made last year. Maybe it's been reinforced so many times you don't even remember making it. But it's running, quietly, constantly, shaping every moment you think is random. This is what the observer effect actually means in your life. You're not just watching your reality unfold. You're collapsing it into form with every prediction your nervous system makes. And the heartbreaking part, most people never realize they have a choice in what they're predicting. They think their expectations are based on evidence, on past experience, on being realistic. But evidence is selective. Your brain only registers the data that confirms what it's already looking for. If you expect disappointment, you will find it everywhere. Not because the world is disappointing, but because disappointment is what your system is tuned to recognize. If you expect struggle, you will interpret neutral situations as obstacles, not because life is harder for you than for anyone else, but because your brain is forecasting resistance and then finding proof. Your reality is not objective. It never was. It's interpretive, predictive, participatory. And once you see that clearly, really see it, not just intellectually but in your body, you can't go back to blaming circumstances anymore. Because circumstances are downstream of observation, and observation is downstream of belief. So the real question isn't why is my life this way? The real question is, found what have I been expecting without realizing it? And here's the part that makes this whole thing even stranger. The observer effect in quantum mechanics doesn't require a conscious mind. Any change to the apparatus designed to detect a particle at a particular slit alters the probability amplitudes, and the interference disappears. This interpretation is independent of any conscious observer, so the scientific community will tell you that observation is just interaction. That consciousness has nothing to do with it. And on the surface, that sounds reasonable. But then you look at what happens in the brain, and the picture gets more complicated. Because while quantum observation might not need consciousness, human perception absolutely does. And human perception is where reality gets personal. Our perceptions come from the inside out, just as much as from the outside in. Rather than being a passive registration of an external objective reality, perception emerges as a process of active construction. What neuroscientists call a controlled hallucination. A controlled hallucination. That's what they're calling your everyday experience of life. Not because you're delusional, because your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do, build a usable model of the world fast enough to keep you alive. But that model was never meant to show you truth. It was meant to show you survival. And survival is built on pattern recognition, on predicting threats, on staying consistent with what worked before. Which means the brain you're walking around with right now is actively biased toward repetition. It doesn't want you to see new possibilities. It wants you to see familiar ones, because familiar is safe. Familiar is efficient. Familiar doesn't require the nervous system to reorganize itself. But growth does. Transformation does. Becoming the version of yourself you keep saying you want to be, that requires your brain to stop confirming the old predictions and start building new ones. And that process is uncomfortable, disorienting, sometimes terrifying. Because for a while, you're living between two realities, the one your old predictions built, and the one your new beliefs are trying to construct. And your nervous system hates that gap. It will do everything it can to pull you back into the known, back into the predictable, back into the version of you it recognizes. This is why change feels so hard. Not because you're weak, not because you're broken, because you're trying to reprogram a system that was designed to resist reprogramming. But here's what most people miss. Resistance isn't evidence that you're doing it wrong. Resistance is evidence that you're doing it. Your brain only fights the predictions that threaten its current model. If what you're attempting didn't matter, there'd be nothing to resist. So when you feel that internal pushback, that voice that says this won't work for you, or you've tried this before, or be realistic, that's not truth. That's your old prediction trying to survive, and you get to decide whether you keep feeding it. Now, let's go deeper. Because there's a layer to this that almost nobody talks about, and it's the layer that actually changes lives. What you believe about yourself doesn't just shape how you feel, it shapes what you notice, what you pursue, who you become. But more than that, it shapes what other people see in you. Not because you're performing, because belief changes your presence. It changes the way you move through a room, the way you hold a conversation, the way you respond to opportunity or challenge. People pick up on that, not consciously, but they feel it, and they respond to the version of you that you're internally predicting yourself to be. If you walk into a space expecting to be overlooked, you will unconsciously make yourself smaller. Your body language will shift, your voice will soften, you'll defer before anyone even asks you to, and people will overlook you. Not because they're cruel, because you've already told them, non-verbally, energetically, predictively, that you're not the one to pay attention to. This is the observer effect, playing out in real time, in human relationships. You collapse your own social reality based on what you expect to receive. And the world, efficient as always, gives it to you. But the opposite is also true. When you change the prediction, when you start internally expecting to be valued, heard, respected, You don't have to announce it. Your nervous system announces it for you. The way you stand changes. The way you listen changes. The way you take up space changes. And people respond differently. Not because you manipulated them, because you stopped collapsing into the smaller version of yourself. This is what presence actually is. It's not charisma. It's not performance. It's the alignment between who you are internally and what you're allowing yourself to predict externally. And when those two things match, reality starts reorganizing itself around you in ways that feel almost uncanny. Opportunities appear. Conversations deepen. Doors open that were always there, but somehow invisible before. Not because the universe suddenly favored you, because your observation shifted. You started looking for different evidence, expecting different outcomes, collapsing different possibilities, and reality, faithful as always, responded. So here's what this all means practically. If you want your life to change, you can't just change your actions. You have to change your predictions. And changing predictions means becoming aware of the ones you're currently running. Most people have no idea what they're actually expecting on a daily basis. They think they're optimistic because they hope for good things. But hope and expectation are not the same. Hope is what you wish would happen. Expectation is what you're bracing for. And your nervous system responds to expectation, not hope. So if you say you want success, but you're internally bracing for failure, your brain will keep collapsing the latter. If you say you want love, but you're expecting abandonment, your system will keep finding proof of it. Not because you're sabotaging yourself on purpose, because you're observing from a prediction that hasn't updated yet. And here's the part that requires real honesty. Updating that prediction isn't about affirmations. It's not about pretending. It's not about lying to yourself until you believe it. It's about catching the moment, the exact moment, when your brain tries to run the old prediction, and gently, consistently, offering it a different one. Not as a fantasy, as a possibility. Just, what if this time is different? Just, what if I don't have to brace for that outcome anymore? Just, what if the version of me I'm becoming gets to experience something new? And then watching what happens when you stop reinforcing the old collapse. Because here's the thing nobody talks about. Most of your suffering isn't caused by what's happening. It's caused by the prediction you're running about what's going to happen next. You're living in a future your brain is constructing based on a past it's trying to avoid repeating.